Greetings everyone from all the way of faraway New Zealand. Now I'm sure that all of you have rich and unique and significant collections. I mean, that's why you've chosen to keep these things forever. Now what I'm going to do today is talk to you about opportunities to share those collections on online sites. Now I'm sure there's an animated GIF for that, right? Now the fixed displays of dinosaurs that are in your galleries are now being talked about in real time on the web. Some of the audience that used to go to your online website has now moved to new places. So you've got to consider being in those places if you want to continue being part of the discussion. Now this I call the online collections hamburger. At the bottom you've got your content. You've got to decide what channels are you going to share it through, what opportunities there are to talk with the audience there, how is the content going to be reused, and is there opportunities for your organisation to be more transparent. Creating an account on a social media site takes 5 minutes, but continuing to maintain that presence, sharing information on that site, sharing links, engaging with that audience, that continues forever. So you've got to choose your channels wisely. Now each individual site suits particular purposes, and you should be measuring your most popular and least popular posts to get an idea of what content's working best for your audience. A historical museum, for instance, might have great photos that connect to people and places in the local community, making a strong connection. So each social site is better suited to particular kinds of participation. So for example, Pinterest works great for things that people are wanting to note for a later date. So they might be planning for a trip that they're going on, or for maybe a wedding that they're organising. There's a UK organisation called Collections Trust. Now they've done a research project looking at how much effort was required for museums to participate in various online websites. So the results of that research, the pros and cons of each of those websites, is now available online. The National Library of New Zealand, they've created something called the Tea Break Tweets hashtag, and it's just a fun way for them to share one link a day to something within the collection. A nice way to provide a break within somebody's day. I mean, who wouldn't want to see dresses made of sackcloth? Now, Facebook and Flickr both provide good ways of tracking the discussion around particular posts. So that's a good way to promote further discussion. This particular example has 50 comments and 100,000 views. Now Flickr is easy to get back to that discussion, Facebook not so much. Tumblr is a case where you can mix up your own collection content, perhaps with user-submitted content. So in this case, this is the Wellcome Trust's great call to action: submit your brain. And so they were pulling items from their medical collection and mixing it up with user-submitted content from their fans. These online sites are also an opportunity to present your collection in different ways. So this is SF NOMA's Pinterest page, where they've uncovered various themes within the collection. And it's an easy way to create new themes that are perhaps topical and resurface content that's suddenly in the spotlight again. Now copyright's hard. You may not actually have copyright for all the things in your collection, so you have to be pragmatic. You may only be able to post things that you have the copyright for, or you may be able to get copyright clearance on a one-off basis for a particular piece of content. Now you're likely to have great content for these collection items on your website. You should be linking back to those items. So that's giving users an opportunity to get back to more contextual information, read things like statements of copyright. So remember, use the source, Luke. Now the National Library of Australia has a large number of images which have no known copyright restrictions. So that's part of the Flickr Commons project, and whenever they post an image to one of those items on Facebook, they link back to the original source in Flickr Commons. Tumblr is a good way of posting things on a regular basis. So here we have the Sargent Gallery, who's using it as an opportunity to be more transparent about how their organisation works. So each day they post a photo, often of behind-the-scenes things. Like here we've got a group of works that are in storage, which the public wouldn't normally see. So those kind of peeks behind the scenes are something that particularly interests the people out in the general public. So it's an opportunity to show the inner workings of the museum and let people have a view to things that wouldn't normally be in the public eye. Now behind all this you should be measuring what you're doing. So even the metrics on your main website can help you spot spikes in interest which may be due to a current event. So you can then respond to that and perhaps resurface collection content which is suddenly connected to something that's happening right now. Now there's a variety of different tools that can help you measure what's happening in social media. So both Google Analytics and then a number of others that are platform specific. You should be keeping a record of the history of those results, because then you've got a baseline and trends to look back on over time. Now, these new audiences may not actually agree with the things you say. If you're not present on these networks, you haven't actually got a chance to respond to them. So being in these places is a chance not necessarily just to push your own view, but to hear what others are saying and engage in those conversations. So social media is just another way of talking to your fans. It's an opportunity of taking content you've already created and reusing it. It's a chance to be transparent about how your organisation works. And if you measure what you're doing, then you can see whether what you're doing is the right thing or not. Thank you.